So let's extend this idea of multiplying with negatives and give you some more examples. So here we've got -7, -8. Now these signs are not touching in any way, so they're not affecting each other. So this just means that we're going down by 7 and then down by another 8. So essentially what we can do is just add the 8 and the 7 together to get 15 because they're both going in the same direction. So it's going to be -15. Whereas this one is really the grammatical way of saying -7 plus -8. It's just we've put a bracket around it to make it look a bit prettier essentially. So here these two signs are touching, so they're interacting. So we've got a positive times a negative, and a positive times a negative makes a negative. So actually we've got exactly the same sum as we had above. So we know that -7, -8 is -15. Because we've gone down 7 stairs and then down another 8. So we've gone down 15 stairs in total. Why I like this negative idea is because when you get -7 times -8, these signs, although they're not touching, they are both being multiplied. So that makes a negative and a negative. If bad things happen to bad people, well, that's fair. So that's positive. And 7 times 8 is going to be 49 plus 7, which is 56. Dividing also is just the inverse or the reciprocal of timesing. So if you had, for instance, -64 divided by -8, well, here, because they are essentially the same kind of sum, but one is backwards, like the inverse or the opposite of the other one, they still have the same relationship. So a negative divided by a negative is the same relationship in terms of signs as a negative times a negative. So we still get a positive. So then you just do 64 divided by 8 and that gives us 8. So the answer to that sum is going to be 8. So let's have a look at this one then. 7 minus 8. Well, this one really has an imaginary positive in front. We just don't bother to write it because it's a waste of ink. So we're going up by 7, but we're going down further, which is by 8. So our negative's bigger, so we know we're going to have a negative answer. So the difference between going up 7 and back down by 8 is 1, so it's -1. Look at the gap, 7 and 8, there's 1 between them. What direction are we going to end up going in because one number's bigger than the other? Well, it's going to be negative because there's more negative than there is positive, so it's going to be -1.